Mic check 1, 2, 3. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Woodbine Mohawk Park on this Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. Today we have qualifiers, 5 of them in total. We've yet to get underway. We'll be getting underway just shortly. So if you're just joining us right now, we haven't had a qualifier just yet, but the horses for qualifier 1 are on the track. A couple more still to make their way out. We'll be beginning in just a couple of moments. And we're set to begin with today's qualifying action from here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. In our first qualifier, scratch number 6, Beach and Lindy. Jody Jameson will drive number 4, Flight Crew. Number 1, Salzbrook Olympia, 5-year-old mare trained by Vern Cochran. The driver is Scott Young. The 2 is Prohibition Legal, 4-year-old mare trained by Nick Gallucci. The driver is Louis-Philippe Waugh. Number 3 is Twist Little Girl. That is a 4-year-old mare trained by Carmen Auciello. Doug McNair will drive. Number 4 is Flight Crew, a 7-year-old mare, also trained by Carmen Auciello. The driver will be Jody Jameson. And completing our field, number 5, JK Mickey Mantle. And always, this is a 4-year-old gal, does not always be Mickey, trained by Harry Polton. The driver, James McDonald. Take out number 6. So on a drizzly morning here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, we're set to start with today's qualifiers, a field of 5 moving up for the first of 5. Starting gate to the top of the stretch, the Pacers are picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing, and it's going to be from the rail Salzburg Olympia. Pushing forward, here is Flight Crew soaring up to the early lead. Prohibition Legal will drop in behind the rail starter to get away third. Then it's Twist Little Girl, and the early trailer is JK Mickey Mantle. Field of 5 goes into the first turn, and it's Flight Crew up front. Flight Crew and Double J lead it by a couple of lengths from Salzburg Olympia, then back to Prohibition Legal, followed by Twist Little Girl and JK Mickey Mantle. The opening quarter was 29 seconds flat. So they move into the backstretch, and here is a new recruit to the local scene. This is Flight Crew coming in from Australia. First Canadian qualifier, and she's on the lead. Racing in second, that is Salzburg Olympia. And here comes the other import coming in from New Zealand. Twist Little Girl in her debut is rushing up. So the Osceola stablemates are 1-2 as we race towards the midway point. Prohibition Legal's 4 lengths off in fourth, 2 more lengths back to JK Mickey Mantle. The half was 57-2, a second quarter in 28-2, and even quicker there for the new leader, Twist Little Girl, who is up to take the lead. So Flight Crew gets covered up racing in second. Then it's 2.5 lengths back to Salzburg Olympia in third. Prohibition Legal is fourth, and fifth around the final turn is JK Mickey Mantle. Twist Little Girl is racing down towards 3/4 with the lead at 1.5 lengths. Early leader Flight Crew right there second. Underway Salzburg Olympia, so too is Prohibition Legal. 3/4, 125-3, 28-1 in the third quarter. They're into the stretch. Twist Little Girl on that one's back is Flight Crew. Here on the outside, Salzburg Olympia is roaring up, and Prohibition Legal charging on the outside. Prohibition Legal is powering by and takes the lead. Battle now on for second with Salzburg Olympia. Twist Little Girl go back to Flight Crew and JK Mickey Mantle. It's going to be Prohibition Legal in the first qualifier. She wins it by 2 in 1:53 flat. Getting set for qualifier number 2, we have Pacers here. Scratch number 1, Brave Chick. Inside out, the 2 is Sweet Cheddar, a 3-year-old filly, trained and driven by Mike Horner. The 3 is J-Port Lexus, a 3-year-old gelding, trained by Rob Fellows with Damian McClellan. 4 is Leave It to Leo, a 3-year-old gelding, trained by Nick Galucci, James McDonald. 5 is Highland Hot Sauce. That is a 5-year-old trained by Michelle Bowen. The driver is Todd Ratchford. Starting gate swings into the stretch. A field of 4 Pacers lined up for qualifier number 2. And they're off and pacing. J-Port Lexus from the center, not the quickest away. That goes to Highland Hot Sauce, who is stepping out in front. Then Sweet Cheddar, J-Port Lexus, and Leave It to Leo gets away in 4th. So Highland Hot Sauce will show the way to the first turn as this 5-year-old is out in front and leads them into the first bend from Sweet Cheddar. The debuter is in 2nd. Then back to J-Port Lexus. Leave It to Leo rounds things out in 4th. Highland Hot Sauce nearing the opening quarter, and it was paced in 32 seconds flat. Into the backstretch they go. This is 5-year-old Highland Hot Sauce. First qualifier since he was a 2-year-old back in 2020. He's leading it by 2 lengths. Second, the 3-year-old filly Sweet Cheddar. 2 more lengths then to J-Port Lexus in 3rd, and another couple back to another debuter, that being the 3-year-old gelding Leave It to Leo. As they near the midway point, underway, here comes J-Port Lexus. Damian McClellan pulls on the right line, and that one starts to advance. So it'll be Highland Hot Sauce by the half in 1:03. Onto the final turn they go. Highland Hot Sauce outside. J-Port Lexus looking to come around there. Then it's Sweet Cheddar in 3rd, and back to Leave It to Leo in 4th. So they start to battle around the final turn as it's Highland Hot Sauce. To that one's outside J-Port Lexus, and going 3 wide now, Sweet Cheddar is going to look to sweep up as Leave It to Leo watches just a few lengths off the lead from in 4th. Now finding another gear, J-Port Lexus ultimately does clear here on Highland Hot Sauce. 3/4 was 132 and 3. 3rd quarter was paced in 29 and 3 off the turn and into the stretch. J-Port Lexus has a couple of lengths on Sweet Cheddar. Highland Hot Sauce inside 3rd, and now to the outside. Leave It to Leo is trying to power up, and Leave It to Leo is closing in quickly now. It's J-Port Lexus in the center, Sweet Cheddar, and Leave It to Leo charging by on the outside. Leave It to Leo. The 3-year-old son of Better's Delight wins it by a length in the debut. Second was J-Port Lexus, Sweet Cheddar 3rd, and 4th was Highland Hot Sauce in 2 minutes and 2/5. Gate is rolling. Qualifier number 3, we're on the trot. Field of 9 scheduled to go forward. Looks like we might have 8 of them out there. We'll introduce the field. 1, Who's on First Deo, 3-year-old filly, trained by Kelly Duval-Lakai, Sylvain Filion to drive. The 2 is He Will, owned and trained by Bill Meagans, the driver Jody Jameson. Number 3, Fighting Fit, 3-year-old colt, John Turney trained, Sylvain Filion listed to drive. 4 is Irish Dreamer, a 3-year-old colt, Paul Reed, the trainer driver. 5, Profiteer, 4-year-old gelding trained by Camille Christoforou with Chris Christoforou. 6 is Devereaux Sealster, 4-year-old gelding trained by Bob McIntosh, James McDonald listed. 7 is How the Hell, 4-year-old gelding trained by Dominic Ledoux with Anthony McDonald. 8, Telling the Story, a 5-year-old mare trained by Joseph Shaw with Tyler Borth. And 9, Mr. Magic, an 8-year-old gelding trained by Carmen Osiello, Jonathan Drury. So they're off and trotting and shooting out right off the wings of the gate. There goes Telling the Story, who is blasting up to the lead for my corner. Off stride went Profiteer after the start. Towards the inside, it's Irish Dreamer getting away in second. He Will is in third. Then we go to Fighting Fit in fourth. From the rail, Who's on First Deo. We'll then back things up as they go into the bend to Devereaux Sealster. That one being followed by Mr. Magic, and still off stride is Profiteer. The opening quarter pops up on the board in 28 and 4, and they get set to move into the backstretch, and they follow Telling the Story. It's Telling the Story on that loose lead of 3.5 lengths. Second then is Irish Dreamer. As they move up the backstretch, third is He Will, tracked by Fighting Fit in fourth. Fifth is Who's on First Deo. A few more lengths back to Devereaux Sealster. That one followed by Mr. Magic, and then trailing things Profiteer. Now out from third, here comes He Will on the march, and He Will is heading up towards the lead, up to overtake Telling the Story as they go by the midway point in 58 and 4. On to the final turn. He Will up to take the lead. Telling the Story in second. Third is Irish Dreamer. Then on the outside, fourth, that is Fighting Fit. Down to the rail, Who's on First Deo. A couple lengths going back to Devereaux Sealster. 2 more lengths to Mr. Magic. And the trailer is Profiteer. But He Will has stretched out the lead to about 5 lengths here, nearing 3/4. And this 3-year-old gelded son of Muscle Mass is going to head down to that station all by himself and reaches 3/4 in 1:27 and 2. Off the turn and into the stretch after a 28 and 3/3 quarter. It's He Will with the advantage. Telling the Story in second. Irish Dreamer is third, trying to come up the inside. Who's on First Deo. Then to the outside, that's Fighting Fit. And looking to split rivals late is Devereaux Sealster. But as they're into the final 1/8 of the mile, He Will is untouched here. Jameson just sitting there. He Will is going to take qualifier number 3. Finishing in second will be Telling the Story. Then third is going to go to, it'll be tight, looks like Devereaux Sealster got it, from Who's on First Deo back to Fighting Fit. Time of the mile, 1:57 and 3. gate moves into position. It's time now for the fourth qualifier. We're on the pace here with a field of 5 to go forward. Driver changes to pass along. The 1 Mason's Delight, it'll be Jody Jameson. Number 4, It's Major Rich, Don Johnson drives. And number 5, No Free Lunch, Scott Young. Number 1, Mason's Delight, is an 8-year-old gelding trained by Carmen Ostiello, the driver Jody Jameson. 2, Better Have My Money, 4-year-old gelding trained by Nick Galucci with James McDonald. 3 is Power Train, a 5-year-old gelding also trained by Nick Galucci. Louis Waugh drives. 4, It's Major Rich, is a 6-year-old gelding. The driver is Don Johnson for trainer Carmen Ostiello. And number 5 is No Free Lunch, a 5-year-old gelding trained by Harry Polton. Scott Young will drive. Starting gate swings into the stretch. Here they come for the fourth. And they're off and pacing. It's Major Rich is powering out of there from the center at the rail. Mason's Delight also hustles, so the stablemates get away 1-2. Then we go back to Better Have My Money, Power Train, and No Free Lunch. It's going to be Mason's Delight up front. This 8-year-old gelding to show the way. It's Major Rich in second. Better Have My Money, Power Train, No Free Lunch. That's how they're lined up going to the opening quarter. And cruising along, Mason's Delight's going to cut out a solid opening clip here of 28 seconds flat. So it's Mason's Delight into the backstretch. Another import. This 8-year-old coming in from Australia. Now goes for trainer Carmen Ostiello. Stablemate, that being It's Major Rich, also coming in from down under. The 4 racing there in second. That's It's Major Rich. Then we go back to the Galucci pair. Better Have My Money in third. Power Train in fourth. And No Free Lunch is 6 lengths from the lead, racing in fifth. A 2-length leader up front, though. Mason's Delight is by the half in 57 and 1. Second quarter in 29 and 1. On to the final turn. It's Mason's Delight leading it by 2. It's Major Rich second. Then in third is Better Have My Money. Power Train is in fourth. And No Free Lunch sticks with him there in fifth. 5/8 to the mile complete. Mason's Delight has chopped out fractions of 28 and 57 and 1, and now tries to get them down to 3/4. On that lead, still by 2 lengths from It's Major Rich, Better Have My Money, and Power Train, No Free Lunch. We'll see what they have to say when we come off the turn and into the stretch. 125 and 3 for 3/4. That was a third quarter in 28 and 2, and Mason's Delight is kicked clear now by 3.5 lengths. Better Have My Money rolls up on the outside into second. Power Train also trying to gain a spot to the inside. It's Major Rich and back to No Free Lunch. Deep stretch now. Better Have My Money inching in and going by. Better Have My Money will get there. Mason's Delight finishes second. Third was Power Train. Then it was It's Major Rich and No Free Lunch. 152 and 1 for Better Have My Money. Time now for our fifth and final qualifier on this Tuesday morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. We've got a field of 5 lining up and taking their positions. Number 1, Georgia January. This is a group of pacers. Georgia January is a 5-year-old mare trained by Alan Fair. The driver is Jody Jameson. 2, I Want to Be a Pirate, is a 4-year-old trained by Paul Cameron. Paul Davies in the sulky. 3 is Horizontal, 3-year-old filly trained by Luke Blay. The driver, Louis Waugh. 4 is Having a Party, a 3-year-old filly trained by Nick Galucci with James McDonald. And the 5 is Music Box Noise, a 4-year-old mare. The trainer-driver is Chris Rogers. Starting gate to the top of the stretch, a field of 5 on gate. Here they come for qualifier number 5. And they're off and pacing. And at even beginning here, we'll see who ultimately is going to cut it out. From the rail, Georgia January has I Want to Be a Pirate to the outside. Horizontal, Having a Party, Music Box Noise. And ultimately, it looks like they may just line up in post position order here. So it's going to be Georgia January, the early leader. I Want to Be a Pirate is in second, Horizontal in third, then back to Having a Party and Music Box Noise. They head around that first bend and showing the way, Georgia January, this 5-year-old mare, her first appearance since early April, leads them through an opening panel of 31 and 1. So there wasn't a whole lot of early speed there as they tried to sort things out. We're going to get a lead change now. I Want to Be a Pirate. Paul Davies is going to loop to the top here with this 4-year-old. So I Want to Be a Pirate up to take the lead from Georgia January. Horizontal, the 3-year-old filly, is back in third. Fourth is Having a Party. Music Box Noise in fifth. I Want to Be a Pirate really having to work here to try and get around Georgia January. Just didn't want to clear too quickly. Now Will gets around and takes them by the half in a minute and a fifth. So they picked it up there in the second quarter. That's 29 seconds even and a little bit quicker there for I Want to Be a Pirate, who now is on the lead, but Georgia January is right back out and around. So Georgia January up to reclaim the lead. I Want to Be a Pirate in second, and now here comes Horizontal. That daughter of Always Be Mickey, the 3-year-old, is rolling up into second. On cover is Having a Party. Music Box Noise rounds things out. It's Georgia January. Here's Horizontal up to the wheel. On that one's helmet is Having a Party. Down to the inside, I Want to Be a Pirate, and Music Box Noise. 129 and 3 for 3/4. They're off the turn and into the stretch. And here on the outside is Horizontal trying to overtake Georgia January off stride after the 3/4 pole was I Want to Be a Pirate. We come to the 8th pole and Horizontal strikes the front. Georgia January in second. Having a Party is third. Back to Music Box Noise in fourth. Horizontal is coming home and she's going to take our 5th and final qualifier. Georgia January finishes second. Then it was Having a Party third. Back to Music Box Noise and I Want to Be a Pirate. 157 and 4.